Hey, this is Dan with Guardian Mold Prevent. I want to look with you at a home that's located in Willowbrook, Illinois. And we're down in the basement, and as you can see, the basement took on some water. And over an extended period of time, a small amount of water down in this basement turned into quite a bit of mold growth around the base of the walls, and essentially from the ground up anywhere from 12 to 18 inches, in some spots a little higher. Now you can see that the drywall was affected, but what they did was they came in and cut the carpeting out right away, because the carpeting is really usually the culprit to leading to the moisture staying in the basement for quite a long time, because it just takes a lot for the carpet to dry out. So they made an attempt at salvaging this basement, but unfortunately there was just too much water. Now if you look closely at some of this footage, you can see that the mold staining appears to be smeared around. It's lighter in some spots, and that's because what happened here is that an amateur or just a Joe handyman came in and decided they were going to try to help with this mold issue, and they were going to wipe it off the walls as if that was going to rectify the situation. And unfortunately, what happens is when you get porous material that's affected with mold growth, it's just not possible to remove the mold from the material. Now, in terms of the types of material we find in a basement, first you've got porous, so we're talking about drywall, trim, and insulation. Then semi-porous material like wood framing members, and then lastly non-porous materials. So you've got your concrete foundation walls, your foundation floors, and then in some ranch homes you would even have a slab foundation floor. Each of the three materials that we find in a home are actually handled differently when it comes to a mold remediation project. Now, in terms of this basement, we would come in and set up containment or negative air pressure, which would involve putting an air scrubber in. We then run all the air through HEPA filtration. We remove and discard all of the porous materials that are affected, and then we treat the semi-porous and the non-porous materials with a biocide, which is a product that kills mold on contact. We physically scrub them down and then put on an acrylic-based mold-resistant coating. Now you can see here that the drywall has been stripped off the wall that was affected. It exposed the foundation wall and also the framing members. We then treated those items with the biocide, as we mentioned before, and then we scrubbed them down physically and treated them with this white acrylic-based mold-resistant coating, and it will stand up against mold growth going forward. The last item I want to take a peek at is a negative air machine or an air scrubber, and this is one of the tools that does set apart a mold remediation firm from just Joe Handyman, who can come in and says he can take care of your issue. And while they can remove drywall that's affected and they can paint products on, usually they cannot address your air quality issues, and this is what would set a mold company apart.